Greetings everyone, and Grid here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the north side, or right side, as the pink Cosmos Olaf. We got Leiuza. Oh, I butchered that name well enough. Spawn on the left side as the purple lightning Kindle. We got achesst. Oh, now you're on Twitch, as well as YouTube. Welcome, you twice. Yeah, this map's a little bit strange. It's one of those, I think. Yeah, this map's gonna get chaotic very quickly. We got two bases in the center for both sides, and base on for both sides as well. So this is a 4-base map, which is actually pretty rare. Airport in the corners, good number 4s here, so gonna be slow going for wheeled vehicles, at least around here. It's gonna be very chaotic very quickly. Both players do also start for artillery piece to help deny the airport, and you'll probably have to send your own artillery piece into range of it. Actually, it's going to be a little bit hard to displace, isn't it? Goes for an artillery down south as well. Will Kindle go for one in the counterpart as well? Kindle could charge for an artillery piece to the city there to get bonus firepower. Ah, that's how Pink's going to handle that artillery piece. Multiple targets. I don't know if she should... Probably should focus on the artillery piece. Does hit the artillery piece there, that's the highest value target, and that means both these products will be nice and secured, and Battlecom can simply come around and clean it up. Looks like Kindle's going for tanks to advance this direction. Wasn't sure if he'd be streaming on YouTube, Twitch, or both, which YouTube primarily paying attention to. Many streamers stream on Twitch and then have second feed go on YouTube. Currently, I have 5 streams going. I have currently YouTube, Twitch, X, Kick, and Rumble. So pick your poison. I don't really monitor Kick, because I only get spam bots. If I'm going to pay for Restream IO for multiple streaming sources, might as well stream to as much as I can for the basic plan. So we've got now anti-air deployed out by Kindle here, which probably going to be heading down south, I'm guessing, with that placement there. This map is a bit of a brain bender, because you got... It's one of those things, one people are to keep track of everything. Yeah, X does have its issues, though it's pretty balanced nowadays, so it's definitely gotten better from what it was when it was Twitter, that's for sure. Does pull back the artillery piece there to get some repairs. Looks like going to get the repairs going, but the tank's advancing. Probably do need a little bit of momentum. Good number of shores here, so this area is pretty traversable even by wheeled vehicles, so recon could be a good idea to help close the distance if needed, but easy to blockade it. But there is technically a 2-width road here for that. Does get a good shot there. Anti-air heading down south. True, there's issues for Elon. Looks got artillery piece up north, infantry, tank, and infantry. Got double tank deployed by Olaf in the center. Does get strike there, so this airport has not been secure. I think Pink handled capturing this airport pretty nicely, and probably Pink should be eyeing for a battlecopter here with the tank and artillery nearby, though there is this anti-air, so maybe tank battlecopter could be quite nice. It has 15,000 funds, so tank battlecopter is not an option. So probably a tank. Anti-air will probably zone out pretty easily. The battlecopter will have 1 turn to pass to get a shot. Does finish off that infantry unit on the mountain. Does get a good shot there. Interrupts multiple captures there. This comm tower is not yet secured by Kindle, but should be kind of secured next turn. Olaf has captured this comm tower here. And Olaf right now has 2 comm towers. Does go with battlecopter. Anti-air can simply head down south and help zone out. But we do have a number of tanks here by Olaf, and this tank should be able to follow wherever this one goes. This tank will probably need to move up, engage this tank so the anti-air can head down south. That's probably what I would do. And try to zone out the battlecopter. Artillery goes straight to the city there. Kindle does, of course, have plus 40% firepower from attacking from cities. Get a number of kills there. Anti-air does go somewhat zone out the battlecopter. It does manage to finish off the tank there, so now the battlecopter probably has to evacuate out of this area. Olaf may need to go for medium tank down here, but he only has 17,000 funds, 2,000 banks, probably a handful of repairs. I don't see any repairs, so approximately 19,000, so could go for medium tank and infantry across the other bases. Kindle goes for infantry, tank, infantry, and looks like no other artillery. Battlecopter goes straight for the artillery there, out of range of the anti-air. Joins and shoots the infantry on the mountainside. Trying to go for this capture there and should get that one nice and safely. Hits that infantry unit down there. Right now Olaf has 18,000 income versus 19,000. Does go for a tank down south. And these two tanks will help stabilize the region. All that Kindle or Olaf needs to do is hit this anti-air, then the battlecopter can just provide some good fire support. Kindle now has an urban blight available, which, let's see, we'll hit this one tank here, of course, another tank here. Will just cause some fundings, interrupt one capture, looks like. Would allow her to wound this infantry unit there. Oh, does pop urban blight. Get a boosted shot there, the one shot the infantry unit there. Artillery is exposed, and the anti-air can probably shoot it up a little bit. Trying for some properties. Looks like Kindle may secure down south. Olaf looks like he's on the back foot. Yeah, it looks like Kindle's going to just capture down south, and Olaf will not do the same up north. He has a force here, but it's not threatening anything, so it feels like Kindle's in a great position right now. And I mentioned 75 versus 46. That's actually a very big difference. And of course, Olaf will equalize when he gets a blizzard, but Kindle can get her power pretty early. And it is coming up a lab. There are 2 labs in this map. Does take up the artillery there, hits the infantry unit there. Problem is, taking a strike on this infantry unit means Kindle can simply just park a unit on top of it. Though it looks like none of these tanks are in range to get the retaliation strike. She could try retaliating with an anti-air after maybe this tank wounds it a significant amount. Does interrupt the capture of the column tower. Tank, infantry, infantry, and tank down south. This tank, of course, can get a strike there. Onto that tank. Finish off the infantry unit there. Recon. A recon is perfectly adequate and protecting this northern part of the map. And does strike the tank there. I suppose you don't need the anti-air to really strike you with 1 health left. And does go strike on the base there. It will... Olaf will win out. Won't be a clean win though. But Olaf's pretty close to Winter Fury. Just needs, what? Another 5,000 more damage? 4,100? That's pretty doable. This tank versus tank should be able to do it. Or battlecopter hitting that. Just need another little bit. Need another little bit. And there you go. 2 damage global. Kindle's now down to 59. Olaf has 51. Surprisingly over 4 bases. I suppose this map doesn't have too much income for 4 bases, so their army value is staying pretty low, honestly. Interrupts the capture entirely. This capture progress has 10 left. If he would have captured the 6 HP, they would still have enough to capture left over, but that's not the case. Does it some of those infantry units there? Tank heading up north. Tank, infantry, and infantry. Artillery can get a boosted strike from the lab. Kindle's pretty close to another urban blight, which could be useful in displacing this tank here. But right now, I don't think Kindle's going to secure down south. There's a lot of tanks down there. She is sort of lacking tanks. True, Kindle had a very good lead, and not to mention, since she's player 2, still has day-to-day, well, after repairs. So she is about a half a turn ahead, I would say. So she's in a comfortable position, but not in a winning position. Does get a good hit down there. Goes for another tank. Has 7,000 funds, so probably triple infantry. Goes for a mech. Ends the turn 74, starts the turn 62. Finish off a tank there. Urban Blight's now available. Get a number of hits there. Interrupts the capture. Mace does stop the capture. It's the artillery piece once again, and actually takes time to shoot the recon. Yep. She has not got any pull. The ATR's way down south. Gets a free strike there. And finished it off. Tank, tank, infantry, infantry. Starts her 23. Probably should go for an anti-air. Anti-air probably here would be a good idea, but there's a good number of tanks in the region though. Maybe battlecopter here would probably be best. Interrupts the capture, or fully stops the capture. Artillery head to the city. Trying to catch that once again. 8 health tank takes on full health tank. Anti-air tries to finish off, does. Pretty close to a high society, though this map doesn't have enough properties to really warrant a high society. Still a couple properties still despicably neutral. A C3 looks like. Battlecopter. She does go for battlecopter, infantry, tank, infantry, infantry. And when it comes to Kindle's high society, if she's going to eye it, 26 properties. So actually, no, that is a fair number of properties. So she would get a 70% firepower bonus global, which is quite significant. Like I always say, high society is actually a good superpower. It's just that Urban Blight is an excellent power. Takes on some infantry there. Finish off tank there. High society is now available. She could buff up a tank and anti-air quite significantly over here. Over here, she's pretty defensive. Olaf has a great position. Another battlecopter up here could be quite nice. Over here, that's not going to do much. I think, yeah, I don't see high society being too useful at the moment. At most, Urban Blight. But I don't think high society is good right now. Does pop an Urban Blight. Does interrupt some captures. Artillery piece there, providing good escort. 2 health tank to finish off the 1 health tank, or maybe use 3 health anti-air. Battlecopter advancing. Olaf's pretty far away from Winter Fury. Yep. It's just a 4 health tank, so Olaf could, let's see, it's 24,000 funds. Could try stabilizing this region with a medium tank. I think a medium tank would be a good call down south. Though does get some good damage there. Strikes some infantry up north, stays out of range of the artillery. That's an auxiliary. And this property is still despicably neutral. And I don't think that's a good idea. That's a mech right there. That's like everybody's dream to get a mech to fire from a mountaintop onto a tank. It does have 3 defense stars, but I don't think that was a good idea. The retaliation is way too effective, even if it's not on an urban property. Mech gets a good shot there and counters off and finish it off. I don't think that was a good move there. There's off an infantry unit there. 4 health tank takes on 6 health tank. 2 health tank takes on 3 health tank. Infantry, machine guns down to health. Anti-air will take on 4 health tank, who's almost out of ammo as well. Finish off some outlying units there. Tank on tank. Artillery advancing. Multiple artillery advancing. Battlecopter hits the tank there, but a little bit exposed. Anti-air too far away. Urban Blight gets popped. Kindle's getting a bit more firm grasp and getting anti-air there, but she did basically donate a battlecopter. Because this anti-air only does not reach nowhere near close enough. Excuse me. Olaf is pretty close to Winter Fury, which could be very handy. Battlecopter hit Battlecopter, gets some charge there. Turn yourself out outlying units there. Try to get the power charge without needing the superpower. And that should do it. Does not pop it immediately. There we go, pops it. And even after Winter Fury, Kindle is still ahead by a little bit, so Kindle's still in good position. She's going to be repairing armored leg for repairs, though. And we'll take out that Battlecopter free. Battlecopter's down to 2 ammo. Infantry, tank, infantry, infantry. Leave 7,000 funds in the bank. Hits the capping squad twice. Anti-air push way forward. Tank pulls back. Hits infantry unit there. Hits tank. Does not take it all. Does gun it down. Another tank. Not sure what. Oh, the infantry unit there. Infantry. And tank up north. Olaf starts turn 23,000, so let's see. He could go for a medium tank somewhere. Kindle ends turn 78, Olaf starts turn 75, so they're pretty even at the moment. Infantry moving, joining, falls back, gets in repairs. Tank on tank, does double tap the tank there. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, infantry, infantry. Does get a free strike there and falls it up, takes it out. Another tank there, so Kindle's will have a good core of tanks. We'll need an anti-air up north soon. Of course, the mountain side tops there, so the anti-air may just need to park there and go either way. She does have 14,000, so she could go with an anti-air on this location, which can also push down south. So the anti-air here could either push south or north if needed, but this one is in this region as well. Reorganize the front line there and here. Couple mechs just to find the mountain sites. Does put anti-air there, infantry, and one last infantry up north. This battlecopter still has free reign, though this anti-air is not in range. Does get some good shots. Get some infantry units there and there. Interrupts the capture. 23,000 versus 22,000. Still got this property despicably neutral. And gets interrupted a little bit further. 12 capture progress remaining. Infantry, tank, anti-air, and infantry. Kindle starts turn 26,000. I wonder, what is the... Okay, black bombs and stealths are both banned. Kindle has an urban blight available. Don't think she needs... she could perhaps blight this battlecopter. Could have got boosted strike there, but did not really need it though. Finish off that unit there. Infantry, tank, and probably infantry down south. Actually, she still has 11,000 funds. How quickly can it happen where the bottom right was almost dead, now attacking to the 2B area? Well, that's more or less this sort of map design. You got this area can go north or south. Or this can only go north. If you focus going one direction, then you get exposed to the flank here. Yeah, this map is designed to be a bit more chaotic with the spawns. It doesn't really follow normal. It's easy to flank and send your reinforcements one way or the other way. This area is deceptively close, where there's a good number of mountains here to prevent movement, not to mention the forest, so it slows down going this way, but doesn't really slow down going this way. A lot of open plains there, a couple forests and mountains. It's probably the nature of this map, like I said. Probably not a good idea to have this tank right there, because if this tank gets on top of the city, it can retaliate for a good amount of damage. Focus 9 health infantry with 2 attacks is going to be pretty easy. Let's finish off that tank there. There's a good number of reinforcement tanks, so sacking this tank would mean sacking the tank. Got tank, infantry. Battlecopter here can help provide some fire support though. The interior is somewhat close by, but not necessarily super close by. So this may be a good time for an Urban Blight to get good boost damage to take out the tank. Trading a tank for a tank is probably pretty good. I decided to trade for the tank for a tank, and I forgot all the shores there. Did not need Urban Blight for that. Oh, pops Urban Blight now. A decent amount of Blight upon the land. Interrupts this capture. Got some damage across various units, such as those 2 tanks. And also this tank as well, so decent amount of repairs next turn for Olaf. Battlecopter strike Battlecopter. I think the Battlecopter won. Another boost strike there. Don't think anything can get on top of this city to get another boosted strike. But Kindle's one of those COs you really have to think about playing as and fighting against, because the fact that certain properties attack for her just gives her nuking potential is very disconcerting, because right now, with the power, she gets plus 80% additional firepower from attacking from urbanized property. I mentioned the plus 10 naturally, plus 20% from the comm tower, so she's looking at a total like plus 110% from attacking of a property, which is absurd. Colin? She could give Colin run for his money, power of money for firepower bonuses. Though, a very select terrain. Is an NP satellite? No, it is not. If you look here, it tells you specifically HQs, bases, airports, seaports, cities, labs, and comm towers counts urbanized terrain. Spent missile platforms as well as unspent missile platforms do not count as urbanized terrain. So they're just 3 defense stars. I think one way that I can call them, as well as platforms, as opposed to silos. That's more or less my way of calling it. Let's see, Kindle's turn. We do have almost another Winter Fury. Kindle starts turn of 110 with our full day-to-day. Olaf ends turn of 100,000, so Kindle's over turn ahead advantage. Not to mention now 24,000 income. Last despicable neutral properties has been captured. There's a Battlecopter. Maybe a good idea just to continue capturing. I mean, it will have 1 capture progress remaining. But taking your turn to deal with a 1 health Battlecopter. Because if you just capture, then either A, spend the Battlecopter's turn interrupting, or B, take on a tank or artillery, and I don't think a Battlecopter like this could finish off a 9 health infantry unit there, even with a Winter Fury. Hard to say though, probably with 2 comm towers, so probably could, with a Winter Fury. Anti-air could reach, yep, that's why the anti-air did not take a attack there. Tank, anti-air, tank, infantry. And serve 133 versus 102. Winter Fury is very likely, which will equalize the effect. These 2 COs do have a bit of a dynamic to them. One just nukes everything, the other one just blights a handful of things. One's Kindle's far more aggressive with her powers. I suppose Olaf has to store up his power, superpower, with his power only really being useful slowing down aircraft to perhaps try to snare them to hunt them down. Does interrupt the capture here. Double tank, double infantry. And probably the best reason why Kindle was not going for a medium tank, because it will probably just be slowly whittled down by Winter Fury and other sources. Won't be super great. And I mentioned this area is a little bit difficult to attack into with all those forests. Looks like she starts regrouping forces. She may be on to push down south. Got a good number of tanks here. Olaf could eye for a medium tank here. Just got to make sure it doesn't end its turn next to an urbanized property or on an urbanized property. Oh, so make it blighted. Infantry, infantry, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Kindle's going for 2 battlecopters. All she needs to do is take out the anti-air, then battlecopters can reign supreme. Pulls the battlecopter back to the property. Just get a bit of repairs going. Tank, infantry, tank, and another tank down south. And turn for 142. Kindle starts to turn 153. Both players starting to boost, get a lot of units viewed. It's most of this game, it seems like both these players had less than 100,000 value on the field, but now, since it's slowed down a bit, they're starting to mass their forces, which tends to go more in favor of Olaf with the blizzards. True. But sometimes you make a miscalculation and she can't get to it. Looks like she's going to head up north, or heading down south the winter. 145 versus 176. 26,000 income versus 20,000. That's the important part. The next superpower is Winter Fury. Pipe seems slow and going on down. Looks like Olaf, since Kindle's heading up north, Olaf's going to head left with a huge force of these tanks. Kindle may need to get out a medium tank. Medium tank's a bit more cost effective on the defense than the Neo tanks, in my opinion. And probably just good enough versus all the tanks. Though she does have a pair of battlecopters. If she can somehow hit that anti-air, even second tank can hit the anti-air would be great to allow her battlecopters to reign supreme. But this is a sizable force of tanks, to say the least. And not to mention, you got more tanks and a flanking force here. Kindle, like I said, probably needs to go something a bit more heavy. She has 29,000. She could have for a Neo tank, or even for a full bomber. Probably don't go for Mega Tank, that'll be too overkill. I don't think there's any benefit killing this pipe scene other than aircraft can go leftwards easier. They can go west. But then again, going up one tile and going around is not a huge delay. In fact, it's not a delay at all because Pythagorean theorem does not exist in this game. Let's take out the units here. Looks like I'm going to be sacking the battlecopters. Get a booster strike there. Winter Fury is now available. Kindle's response goal is not only going to be wounded next turn, but she's also going to be slowed down. Looks like she's going to put the squeeze on these 2 bases. I want to see a medium tank, or does go for medium tank there. Good. Battlecopter, that's what good reinforcements. Infantry. And 3,000 funds, so infantry, infantry. Infantry, infantry. You can hit the city in 1 turn, primary difference. True. I don't really see that, I suppose it can make a difference. But we haven't seen that being needed. Like, we haven't seen too many fights around this city. It's mostly been around here, so I guess situational how the flow of battle's going. But Winter Fury's here. Kindle still has more value, but of course the front lines sort of collapse on each other, so Kindle's going to take some losses. Looks like this anti-air will not be ranged, though the mech will get a good strike there. Kindle also try to go over the comm tower. Good try though. And here comes the tanks. The blitz of tanks. Medium tank, infantry, infantry. Kindle starts to turn 136. Olaf ends turn 166, so he has pulled out ahead. Only so ever so slightly though. You may see an urban blight. Medium tank can push forward. This battlecopter is in range of this battlecopter. Probably keep this one. Probably move that battlecopter right there. It'll provide some good coverage and be safe from the anti-air while also being safe from this battlecopter. Does get a boost strike there, easily nuking the tank. Pulls it back right there. I think if right there would have been fine, but oh well. That gets a good strike there. If the front lines continue being smashed together, this could be a good time for High Society. She should have absurd amount of firepower bonuses. 30 properties, she will get additional 90% firepower global, which is quite significant. And with the front lines starting to collapse on each other, I think it would be a good time to start eyeing for the High Society. Another medium tank there. I guess the medium tanks don't really need High Society at this moment in time. Maybe used for other stuff. Infantry, and infantry. I probably would have gone for at least battlecopter tank instead of medium tank here. So it could have been focused down. There's 2 forest tiles there, so that's probably why he didn't go for a regular tank. It could have been easily focused down and then the base occupied. Yeah, medium tank's probably a better choice. Try and flip the comm tower as well. Some of these wooden tanks are being picked on off. Hits the anti-air and takes it out. Ah, I guess you remember this game. This game was last updated 10/21. Hits the tank up north. We do have the High Society available. Anti-air, tank, infantry, leaving 5,000 funds. So probably tank. Could actually a recon wouldn't be not half bad, but probably not worth it still. Let's see now. There's argument both for the high. Yeah, there's actually argument for both High Society and Urban Blight. So either are probably a good idea. Just goes to Urban Blight, not a bad idea. Me take a finish off this tank there, and then the battlecopter get a booster strike to hit that battlecopter, fall for about 150% damage. I am curious. I'm guessing 150%. Yeah, 136 to 145. Close enough. It's still well over 100%. There's also an entry there. Get a boost strike there, nuking that tank. Tank on tank. Tanks out tank. Trying to flip the comm tower as well. This comm tower, I think it's Urban Blight, managed to interrupt the capture, so there's probably a better argument for Urban Blight rather than High Society. Trying to flip multiple properties now. Takes out that unit. Tank hits the anti-air, which also gives a bit more breathing room for the battlecopters, though this one would likely go down. A reinforcing one wouldn't be half bad. And now we got these bases under threat. Tank, infantry, and anti-air. So it looks like Kindle's getting a bit more of a firm grasp, in my opinion, in this game. Has 147 ending turn. Olaf's at 112, but getting close to Winter Fury. So Kindle is pretty close to another Urban Blight. Trying to flip multiple properties there. 21,000 versus 25,000. Takes out the battlecopter. We see a join capture here. Capturing for 2 health and then join it to up to 10 means it could be next turn full of capture. Medium tank hits medium tank and the battlecopter will put some rounds into it and that will finish off. Try and flip the lab. Artillery's in range of the medium tank. That's going to hurt. But the artillery's in range of both these bases. That artillery's in a great position. Sometimes we may see an Urban Blight. Trying to think if there's a way if this medium tank can strike this medium tank here, but I don't think so. Tank with tank. Artillery strikes the anti-air rather than the oh, that's the other artillery. This artillery should get a shot off. Oh, booster strike did not finish off the anti-air. It's probably close to 1% HP. Pops an Urban Blight. Takes out that unit there. That's going to be 120%. It's the medium tank there. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Anti-air nukes the mech for about 150% damage. Finish off that tank there. Another boost strike there. Takes out another tank. This is the power of Kindle. All these properties in the map just becomes beacons of firepower like that as well. One shot's the full health tank. They say Kindle is definitely one of the more fun COs to watch. Just her mechanics are ones that really make you think. Attacks a pipe seam, you monster. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry, and infantry. And here comes a Winter Fury, but Olaf's down to 60,000 versus 127. Oh, he is really hurting. The snow also really hurts, down to 95,000, lost about 30,000 damage, or funds. Finish off some outlying units though. Let's take out a mech there, trying to flip a property. Not sure how to feel about Kindle. She was always a pain to brain out in my match I submitted. She's definitely one that makes you think, that's for sure. Probably the closest equivalent to Kindle when it comes to her day-to-day power is probably Lash. After all, Lash will get technically 30% firepower bonuses from her cities. But of course, still not the same. And her power and superpower is a bit more powerful. Primarily the power, because Lash's power is just overpriced in my opinion. Let's get some good picks there. Try to flip a property. Takes out the medium tank. Does not take time to hit one of the regular tanks. Though this artillery's a bit wounded now. I think it'd be a good idea to not capture this property and just have this 8 health artillery get onto it immediately so it can just start shelling the base. I think Kindle may need to go for more tanks up here, but will of course slow down and advance over here. Both players now well below 100,000 value on the map. Tank, 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 and infantry. Managed to knock gun down that property, takes out the infantry in there. Does finish it off. Thank you for the follow, achesst. Welcome to the stream. I probably still butcher your name like I always do. I'm horrible pronouncing names. I think the purple push will falter. Hard to say which player feels more ahead. It does feel like Kindle to be. Yeah, it feels like Kindle. She does have income advantage, which will hold her off a little bit better. Particularly when every few turns she just lose 20% at least. Joining captures there. Tank, infantry, infantry, mech, and battlecopter. 77,000 versus 81, so Kindle's still about a turn ahead in value. Though she is behind in unit count. Does feel like Olaf has a lot more infantry units there. 17 versus 11. Battlecopter gets the tank there, and there's no into this region, so this battlecopter is going to reign supreme. Does finish off that infantry unit there. Hits the battlecopter. Hits that infantry unit twice. Hits the infantry unit in the mountainside. Just picking off a lord some of these wounded units there. It's been all up brawl. Infantry. Tank. Tank. 100,000, 102 versus 64. Try and flip some of these properties. A good number of tanks in nearby to respond. The only one that has to really try to stop is this one. One capture progress for me, but that's not really likely. Not a lot of surface area on that one. Base killings will always be tough. Yep. Particularly the fact that since there's two bases close by, you may lock down one, but you're going to have trouble locking down both. The artillery piece was in a good position, but the Winter Fury just slowly whittled it down, and the other artillery couldn't just make it to the city for a really good fire support. A lot of units just being cleaned on up both sides. 80,000 for 86. It's that tank there. Does clean that up, allowing this medium tank to strike the medium tank from an inferior position. Urban Blight's now available. And this anti-air is in range of the battlecopter. It's a mech there, so it looks like purple's getting good grasps up north. Pink has a good grasp down south now. Even machine guns down to health of the medium tank. Anti-air, tank, infantry. Next power does cost 59,000. Next superpower costs 113. It's the tank there. Anti-air, not in range by 1 tile. Or more precisely by 1 move. 1 infantry unit trying to capture the lab. I believe in you. And that engagement there may not be super great since the retaliation is going to be significant. Oh, well, Lizard. Olaf is wanting Kindle to slow down. He's trying to use Explosion just to literally slow down his opponent. Not to mention get plus them some firepower. Which the medium tank brawl is just not great. It's a losing fight for both of them. So I suppose equal. Tank, tank, infantry, tank. She could pop an Urban Blight and nuke this tank there. This anti-air could get nuked by the tank. Nope. The blizzard's preventing mobility. Try and flip the comm tower. Oh, Olaf does have 3 comm towers. I missed that aspect. Pops Urban Blight. Tank on tank. 3 defense stars. Anti-air is still out of range. Now it's 2 move away. Does not take out the tank with 1 shot. Took out in 2 shots. Hits the infantry unit there. Picks up that squad. Tank, tank, infantry, artillery. Insert 112 versus 61. Takes the pipe scene. Oh, this comm tower will be flipped. Hits this one twice. Tank, 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 and infantry. 81 versus 104, so good turn for Olaf. Flips a property. The income right now is 23-23 with 2 comm towers. A lot of good hits there. Put some rounds of that mech. Takes out another infantry there. Pink's losing some grass bound south. Anti-air is pretty close by the airport, so Battlecopter will have trouble getting over here. Trying to flip that comm tower. Medium tank trying to get some repairs. This comm tower capture is probably just being used as bait. Or I get a good engagement. 120,000 even versus 70. Strikes the anti-air, which allows the Battlecopter free reign. So I have a feeling this tank next turn is going to be hit by all 4 or all 3 of the 4 health tanks. And the medium tank has gone down, but killing the medium tank there like that means he's going to receive retaliation from the urbanized property, so I don't think that was a good call. I do understand interrupting the infantry, but don't think that was a good move there. Because that medium tank, let's just say, the 1 health medium tank is worth, what, 1,600 value? If it's up to 3 health, it would pose a little threat, nothing too significant, but this was far more painful, whether it be a 3 health medium tank or 1 health medium tank, losing 8 health on a regular, or all health on a medium tank, or regular tank. Anti-air puts a round to the Battlecopter. It was going to be lost either way. Hits that tank there. No Urban Blight to soften that one up. T-Copter, infantry, tank, infantry, tank. T-Copter. Is the T-Copter meant to try to capture this comm tower? T-Copter is definitely an interesting option at the moment. Hits the anti-air twice. I mean, there's no more something to hit that Battlecopter. Goes for Battlecopter down south. Got an anti-air who could engage. Just gotta make sure this tank doesn't get hit. Hits the artillery there. And looks like I got mech, infantry, tank, Battlecopter. Trying to capture a good number of properties. 3 possible flips next turn. I believe that copter has exactly 1 ammo left. Oh, right. Now it's at 0 ammo. So it's basically an anti-infantry platform, though we can just always fall back at a bit of repairs and resupply. So yeah, the battlecopter's gonna be knocked out for a little bit. I don't think he's gonna push forward to shoot some infantry units there. It's probably best just to pull back, get some ammo onto it. And now the tanks are blitzing the way forward. They can actually ignore the battlecopter to a certain extent. Yeah, that's actually pretty hard for a battlecopter to have 0 ammo remaining. Because usually it's dead before it even gets down to half ammo. I wonder if that was a mistake. I wonder if he forgot the fact that he's actually at 0 ammo. I wonder if that was a mistake. High Society's now available, Mech gets a good strike there, and he does resign, so maybe that was not a mistake, who knows. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.